we begin the discussions, I would like to talk about workflows. There are workflows all around us. There is a workflow when you want to apply for a leave, it goes through a workflow. There is a workflow when you apply for a tour advance. There is a workflow of its own kind. Earlier it used to be little chits moving around department to department, signatures all over. Now most of you have moved to online workflows. There is another kind of workflow which we will also be talking about. I think Mr. Dev and Mr. Bhattacharya will be able to throw more light. In airport workflow, when you enter an airport, if you were to find the security right in the beginning before the check-in counters, you would be confused. So workflow has a logical structure to it, and we apply technology to speeden it up. So when we digitize workflows, what we look at is to speed the workflow, to get things moving faster. That's the ultimate objective. Not to showcase the technology, right? To make information discovery and access far easier. If the help desk at a convention hall was at the far end of the convention hall, it would be, not useful to anybody. So it should be right up front. Transparency, workflows. I was very interested when Mr. Dev talked about how Indian Railways implemented certain things to achieve transparency. Better return on investment. You digitize workflows to achieve better return on investment, and most importantly, you will digitize workflow to achieve security. I think today all of us are concerned about security. How secure is my information? So I am sure we will touch upon most of these things, and I am looking forward to a lively discussion. So first, sir, Mr. Bhattacharya, I would like to come to you. As they say, I just talked about the airport example. A great well-engineered workflow, they say, should recede to the background and put work into focus. From your experience, from what you see around, where do you think organizations are going in this area?
Well, before we really go to the answer of this question, I'd like to see how we understand the word workflow. Basically, any business has a process, and then the business process, when translated into steps, it becomes a workflow. So any activity which we do, starting from a leave application, as you were told, or planning for a travel, completing the travel, these are all translatable to a workflow. So basically, when we talk of a good workflow, the first thing one has to do is to have a good business process defined. And once a good business process is defined, the means of achieving it can be multifold. Whether we go for a Lotus Domino workflow, or we go for a SharePoint workflow, or an Exchange workflow, or any other workflow, that should not come up to the forefront. Even if it comes, it is not the technology which is going to define the proper workflow. It is the business which defines the proper workflow. If the workflow definition is correct, whatever technology you deploy is going to work. So technology never keeps a forefront seat in the business workflow process. However, there are means to really expedite the workflow movement. Today, if you look at the various workflows you are experiencing in your own life, vis-a-vis the type of workflow you used to experience earlier. When you as an IT person wanted to purchase an IT equipment, you call for a vendor, get a quotation, prepare a proposal, send it to your manager for approval, he sends it to another person for a final approval, it comes back, goes through a negotiation process with the vendors, a summary, and it goes to the procurement cell where the purchase order gets generated. So this entire process, if it is very correctly defined, will ultimately give you the desired result. But how fast you can achieve it, that's the question. If a workflow is stagnant, if it is waiting in the mailbox of a senior person for approval, then the advantage of a workflow is not there. But just imagine, instead of an email or a link which goes to your email box, instead of that, if there is a pop-up on your screen saying an urgent workflow is waiting for you, click it and immediately approve that particular phase where it is stuck up with you. Everybody does the same job. It's a matter of discipline. The workflow moves very fast. The process moves very fast, and you obtain the efficiency which you would like to have today. Workflow has transformed even from the age-old days in the 50s, and as computer came in, the transformations progressed, and today there are workflows which are very highly efficient. With the implementation of BYOD, buy your own device. Everybody has a smartphone, a tablet with him today. Just imagine an approval coming to your iPhone or a tab which you are carrying with you when you are traveling. You approve or you take the action on that particular workflow in terms of leave approval and all that. It immediately goes back. So the process becomes very efficient. What do you use to do that? What technology you use to do that doesn't matter. The process behind you defined is that you have to go through the steps of approval to complete the process and do it as fast as possible. That is the definition given. How you achieve it is secondary.
And my question is, could they be shortened by digitizing? Can you put some light on that, Mr. Dev?
Yes, before start, good evening everybody. I say something about the Indian Railways. Actually, Indian Railways started computerization in the year 1960 with the IBM 1401 system, and for the passenger revenue accounting, goods revenue accounting, and operating statistics. After that, in the year 83-84, Indian Railway purchased a software from Canada for the freight operation, and Indian Railway started thinking automation of freight operation. So it started with that software, but initially it is implemented for Northern Railways, and it is unsuccessful. And in the year 1886, Center for Railway Information System, that is called the CRIS, is established. And with the help of 4 professors from IIT Delhi, they have started review and ingeniously developed a software that is called the Freight Operation Information System. Basically, we are trying to first, we have a lot of resources and we have to optimize the resources, for which we have required the software, because we have a different types of rolling stock, wagons, engines, and each and every seconds or minutes it has a cost. So we have to optimize, for which we have started, and gradually it is success in the year 2000. And now another thing is that is called the RAS, that is the one of the module of the FOIS, that is called the rake allotment system. It is recently started in the year 2011, and which is first implemented in Indian Railways for CKP division. That is for mainly allotment of the rakes. We have a huge numbers of wagons and there is a huge demand from the industry. But to clear or transparent for the people, we start that software that is called the rake allotment system.
Miraj, what I would like to ask you is, Dave talked about how implementation started. There were some successes and some, unsuccessful attempts. And Mr. Bhattacharya talked about those processes versus technology. So, what's your experience, Miraj? When you see out in the industry, do you think people are being forced to adopt technology to the process, or is it the other way around?
I think two things which Mr. Bhattacharya brought out very clearly, and one is definitely that the process, right, precedes everything. Right? So if you have clarity of purpose on where you are headed, only then then we will know what are the next steps. And the other thing I think Mr. Bhattacharya brought out was around how fast, right? What is the speed of the with which information flow or the workflow can deliver. Technology is not the core agenda. It is expected that technology makes things possible while residing or being there in the background. And I think we believe, again, we completely believe in that. We believe that with such a diverse workforce in India, right? And we have a great panel here. We have possibly in the Indian Railways we will have lots of users who are very new to this. Right?
Initially, mind blocks and mindset is the problem, because senior people don't use computer, they don't like to use MIS reports, and they always require the papers. That's the big issue. Even now, after more than 1,000 reports in the morning, after printing, they are not go through the PC or laptops to see the MIS report. They have required them in the morning position. So many papers are they have required.
What a point you made.
What point? That's
Because any workflow digitization or any technology that you apply, it's as good as the people who use it.
So we need to recognize that fact. In fact, if you do not recognize that fact, then the technology which you are trying to deploy will not meet its objective. And I can just give you an example here. For instance, one of the things that we are trying to make it happen is that users who are possibly not very conversant with technology, right, they are able to use and achieve this process. For instance, let me give you an example. If in a say in a location, not in Calcutta, maybe in some other location where people are maybe they are not as used to IT or technology, and we need to follow the same process. Say there is a particular rake allocation system or something where you need a particular set of information to be captured and digitized. Yes. Then what we can do is that we know that this information has to be captured. Say it is a one side scan, right? It needs to be despected and the quality has to be improved. It has to be sent to a particular SharePoint, and as part of the process, it has to be sent to 3 recipients. Say these are the common steps to be followed for a particular set of document. It could be an invoice management, managing an invoice, set of invoices, or any set of documents. Yes. So what we can do is we can get all these commands combined together as something which we call QuickSet. And one of the most intuitive ways, and which is why tablets are very popular today, one of the most intuitive ways by which people want to use technology is being able to just touch an icon. So if you can get this entire step, for instance in invoice management, these 5 steps set as a quick set and made available on the device as a touch command, we have ensured that we are able to do that, sir, fast enough to not and flawlessly, right? Because there is no chance for error because we have preset that as a command. And third, most importantly, we have overcome that resistance or that fear or inability or lack of knowledge from a set of workers, and we need to be truthful. We can't have the same level of.
So basically, what you are saying is, a set of functions, function A, function B, function C, and if I have to continuously use all these functions,
Yes.
I can just put this together into a script.
Yes.
And
And
just
it's
click
there
it
as a
every
command,
time.
as a quick set with an icon, which will ensure that there is no chance of human error, because all you need to do is just put it on the ADF with a particular command to be executed. And second, we do it fast enough, right? The third thing is that we are ensuring that a lot of we have a diverse workforce which is not comfortable today with with very high technology, and Mr. Bhattacharya, you got this point very well, right? Saying that technology actually has to reside in the background. What people should get in the foreground or in the what they achieve is the main focus.
If I permitted on Mr. Dev's response, what he said was that people are still accustomed to get a bunch of reports every day morning. Well, nowadays printers come with a lot of features where you can get accountability of who has printed the report for whom, where from the report has been printed, and how many pages of paper he has consumed. So if you get those features enabled on your printers, then you know whether somebody has fired a printout and left for home, never collected it,
Very well.
and you have wasted a lot of paper. Similarly, if your departments are asking for a lot of reports every day morning, compute the cost of the prints you generate and charge it to those departments who are asking for reports. After a month, they will see that there has been an enormous cost of paper and printing, which has been charged onto them, and then they will stop asking for prints.
Okay,
Amazing.
nice.
So what do you feel, Mr. Dev? Do you think these kind of technologies do work in your kind of scenarios? What's your
Yes,
experience?
this is a very nice technology which is coming, and gradually we have to implement this also. And gradually people are using the PCs and laptops in their house for seeing the MIS report, and Relay also benefited from it, because we have a huge cost for the papers. Every day we are using for a huge amount of money.
Yeah, and I keep hearing, from Miraj, he keeps saying that almost 20%, is it, Miraj?
Statistics it might vary, but anywhere from 20 to 25% of pages which are printed don't get picked up. And the important thing is not only is the cost of paper, the print, but the even worse thing is information which was supposed to be printed for you has been picked up by somebody else, and that is a major security concern.
Yeah.
So I think Mr. Bhattacharya, you rightly said that you can have a control by which we are able to first is authenticate. So instead of printing, if I can just elaborate on this point, instead of printing, when you print straight away, it will not print. Yeah, at the print, what will happen is the print is there on the printer, waiting for you. So you need to just go there and using either a PIN number, as simple as a PIN number, or it could be a smart card. All of us carry our ID cards which have got smart cards. You can authenticate using the smart card. It could be a biometric device, anything which can authenticate. But it ensures that only the papers which you intend to pick up are printed. The balance, if you have not gone there, it is not. And you can set a policy by which it can be purged. So we achieve multiple goals by this.
Yeah, in fact, you can put your AD ID and password to retrieve the document, and the number of pages which
Can
are
be big.
printed are straight away transferred to your account using that particular AD.
That's what you rightly put. That if that is done, then you know exactly which, if I as a user, if I have authenticated myself, then I have audited, I'm now subject to that audit, because I have authenticated, right? I'm authorized to do a certain thing, and then depending upon which group, department, business unit that I belong to, it can be correctly accounted as well.
Yeah, amazing, gentlemen, but are you scaring people away from the work?
On the contrary, what we are telling people is that information flow is something which none of us in this in this room can control. Information cannot be contained, information cannot be controlled, information has to flow freely, it has to be made available, it has to be made available on mobile devices, and in all this the important thing is that we are saying that it can be done in such a way that it is fast, it is secure, and it is predictable.
And also, basically, information flow through a workflow process using technology to give it at a lower cost.
To give it that is
Cost is a major issue.
Yes.
So I'll come to cost. If that is a major issue, many people think many organizations it's the ROI at the end of the day. But I would like to put a question to Miraj again. Do organizations think about what is the cost I am running by adopting or carrying along semi-optimized or non-optimized workflows? What's your?
So can I be very honest in sharing something that, and this is not me speaking, right? This is what we hear from the analysts and industry, the industry view is that in many organizations, right, we might be focusing on a lot of areas, lot of important areas, but possibly printing and imaging does not get the amount of thought and attention that is required. A very simple example is that if 25% of the 20 to 25% of the pages which are printed are not getting picked up, causing a breach of information, right? It's a security breach, right? We are so focused on ensuring that if the information is on a server or on a network, we are kind of securing it in multiple ways in the data center. And imagine somebody just prints it there and doesn't pick it up and it's gone in somebody else's hand. So, and the imaging and printing, a focus on looking at the costs of associated with imaging and printing is the first step, right? And we believe that very simple steps. These are very easily doable, right? Very simple step like a pin printing or access badge enabled printing, full printing as we call it, can ensure that we are able to we are able to cut down the cost of say possibly 25% of the paper and the ink, and then of course I can't even put a value to the information which is falling into the wrong hands, right? There is no value I can associate with that. So if we look at the cost, we need to look at a couple of factors, right? One, the cost of printing, right, which is the hard cost, which we are all aware of. The second thing is the important part is that the physical or the visible cost is only 10%. The balance cost is either in terms of managing or in terms of papers not picked up, in terms of if the right features not being used, or even features, even the fact that non-availability, there is a cost associated with non-availability, right? So if somebody is not able to achieve his purpose of printing, and I can continue and keep talking about a host of things which go in the background. As Mr. Putrajaya said that keep technology in the background, let the focus be on the usage or on the process. But the technology is what is actually making it possible. Even the fact that having a universal print driver ensures that you don't have to manage, or the ability to manage it, using WebJet admin, ability to manage a complete infrastructure, right, even remotely. The cost of ensuring that if in a very remote location where you don't have an IT infrastructure, if you are able to remotely manage it and keep it running, right, that also actually rolls up into the cost of productivity. So it's a multi-dimensional thing,
Yep.
right, beyond the cost of printing.
You rightly touched upon the working remotely, which brings us to the question of cloud and working through the web, accessing our information wherever we are. But is it safe? Mr. Roy, what do you think? Is it safe?
Yes, first of all, I would wish everybody a very good evening to all of you. Thanks for joining here, and thanks to you for inviting me. Thanks HP for getting me here. And coming back to the question is that yes, cloud is absolutely safe, and it is malware free, you know, so you don't have to maintain all those putting antivirus and all stuff like that. Your data is secured, and there's no hanky-panky there. Nobody has got that thing to get in there and do any sort of hanky-panky. Since if your data is there in a particular place, so your maintenance level also goes down on that context.